Talalal Wahwadla Yahweh Shaiba Shamakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. So today we have another short video. This one might be shorter than the rest. Alright, but just, came across this article today. It's just to show you how messed up he really is. How you go to any lengths and measures to do what he wanna do, by extension, which is the will of the Father, of course. Right? So yeah, let me get straight into it. It says the Trudeau government exposed using indigenous children for secret experimental V trials. Now, this is not a thing we don't know already. This is not something that is new to us. This is not something we haven't heard, we haven't seen, we haven't known, as I say. However, this is it coming to light, coming to fruition, as they say. Right? Maybe fruition is the wrong word, but it coming to the light. Right? So here we go. It says for 3 years, Canadian officials embedded in the Trudeau regime secretly injected Inuit. If you don't know what Inuit is, right? Inuit is the indigenous people of Canada, Greenland, and Alaska. They live in the cold parts, right? Cold parts, basically. So like Eskimos, yeah, there's the Eskimos, in other words, right? It's through the regime secretly injected Inuit children with experimental RSV palivizumab V without parental consent or without informing the Inuit community. The disturbing revelation uncovered through newly obtained Freedom of Information emails exposing a shocking breach of medical ethics and raising serious questions about the Trudeau government-led medical experiments on Indigenous populations and the entire Canadian population. It says Canadian investigative journalist Donald Best uncovered emails proving that Canada's Chief Public Health Officer, Dr. Theresa Tam, was fully aware of the ethical concerns, so were the top public health officials. You understand? Donald Best reports in a December 16, 2019 email to Tam and other senior officials. Dr. Tom Wong, Director General of the Office of Population and Public Health and at Indigenous Services Canada, explicitly healthcare workers had raised serious red flags about the program. Right, so people tried to stop them and they didn't care. You understand? People was concerned. Not the elites, not the ESO, but other people were concerned. They say, yet rather than halt the program, the government pressed forward. Parents were kept in the dark as the Inuit leaders and the broader community. As were the Inuit leaders and broader community. Worse, the experiments had already failed. The RSV palivizumab V injections didn't work as intended, but officials concealed this and continued using an indigenous as unknowing test subjects. Indigenous population as unknowing test subjects. Okay. This isn't the first time Canada's medical establishment has used Indigenous children as test subjects without consent. From the 1940s to 50s, as I tell you, we already knew this. Right? Nutritional experiments on residential schools where researchers deliberately starved Indigenous children to study malnutrition, to the 1933 tuberculosis V trials on 600 Indigenous children in Saskatchewan, where nearly 20% died. History has already proven that officials were willing to sacrifice Indigenous lives for so-called science. So the difference between medical researchers, clinical trials, and human experimentation is patient consent. Given the very unequal power relationships between medical staff and patience, coupled with often perplexing language barriers and the widespread perception that many Aboriginal people would not willingly accept patient consent for treatment was often simply taken for granted. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care about the indigenous, right? And the indigenous is one of ours. You know what I mean? The nomads, as they would say, right? But nevertheless, we get into some precepts. I really don't know how much storage I have on the phone. I don't get the notification that storage will coming up. So yeah. Like Proverbs 2 and it's like 29 and 2. Oldie but agree. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear it rule, the people mourn. Yeah, the people mourn. 20% of the people died due to the TBV, right? That they was experimenting on them. So the decreasing the population, regardless, by the V and by trying the V. You know what I mean? Trying to perfect the V. You know this kind of way? So either way, they're pushing forward with their agenda. They don't care. They legit don't care. They don't give a finger in the middle, as I say, about anyone or anything. All right? They really don't care. Or make it worse is that they have the power to do so. You know? They have the earthly power to do so. I'm going to put it like that. Because you know, nothing happens if it's not allowed by the most high power. All right? The Micah 2 and 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil, because it is in the power. They practice it because it is in the power. Yeah, it's in the power of their hand. They in charge of society. You know what I mean? These are the heads of the country, the leaders of the country, supposedly supposed to protect the people. It's and they covered fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Yeah, they oppress a man and his house. You understand? You send your child to school or you send your child wherever and they hold them, inject them and send them home and they're dead. That is oppression. That is oppression. How is that not oppressive? How? You know, how is that not oppressive? You know, it is oppressive. I just had another precept come to mind and just left. Yeah, they'll oppress anyone and anything to acquire, to make ends meet, in other words, when it comes to the agenda. You know, and there's just another example of it. There's just another example of them doing what they do best, right? And that is why when they say peace and safety is how to look for sudden destruction. This is exactly why when they say, yes, this is good for you, this say, no, I go do without. This is exactly the reason. That is why the scriptures say in Sirach, my bad. Ecclesiasticus, I believe it's 12 and 10. It's in never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Yeah, it's only progress, it wouldn't digress or digress. It will always get worse and worse. Don't trust your enemy. And they are our number one enemy. Hashtag number one enemy. All caps, bold, italic. They are our number one enemy. So we can't trust them, the system, or anything they say. Alright? So yeah, that was just it on this video. I hope it was enlightening, informative, of course, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Until next time, Shalom.